Hey guys, today's video is a little bit different. It's a decluttering video. It's a little bit different because I didn't really know what I was doing when I set up the video, or I don't know. So anyways, let me just tell you my process and then you can decide if you want to watch. So I originally started, my goal was I was going to get rid of 1,000 items in December. And yeah, spoiler alert, I did that really easily. Sometimes when you're going through like papers and things, it's kind of hard to decide, you know, hey, is this notebook one item or is each piece of paper an item? Or, so you know what I mean, like papers and stuff are a little bit harder to count, I think. But regardless, I think that I got rid of 1,000 items pretty easily. So I started with that, and then after like the first or second day, it transitioned into an attic declutter. Well, let's see, I did the KonMari method a couple of years ago, and the only thing I didn't get to was the attic. And so the attic hadn't really been cleaned out in probably 5 years, or probably 5 years. 5 years or more, because there were things that I know I went through like 5 years ago, but I didn't go through the whole attic. So there was some stuff in there that really needed to be, like each box, I opened each box and went through each thing, and like some of the notebooks and stuff that I had in there that I was keeping, like I flipped through the notebooks to see, like, is this, why did I keep this? What was I thinking when I decided I wanted to keep this? What was it about this thing, you know, that made me put it in the attic instead of just throwing it away or recycling it? So I went through everything, and oh my gosh, it took 5 days at least. And when I say 5 days, it was like 5 hours at a time each day. I can't believe it took that long. And I still, like, towards the end, I was just like, okay, I have to be done with this because I have other things I need to do. It's the holidays. Like, I have things I need to be doing other than sitting in my attic all day, reading old notebooks and going through old things that probably I should just let go of. If I'm being honest. Anyways, so my attic had become sort of a source of issue in myself because it was full and things weren't accessible in there, and I use my attic as long-term storage for certain like sentimental items that I just want to hold on to, and then short-term storage for things like, for example, some of my baby stuff that I'm not really 100% certain what direction I want to go in with that. Do I want to have another baby? Do I want to maybe adopt a baby? Foster a baby? I mean, more than adopt. And so I don't really know exactly where I'm going with the child thing. So like I want to keep some of that stuff in there until I sort of make a better decision. So in essence, I want to have room for long-term storage and short-term storage. And I was out of room. And so like when the baby would outgrow more clothes or something, I was just like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? There's too much in the attic. There's just too much. The other thing that I have going on too, for those of you who do watch more of my videos, I recently quit my job and blah blah blah, but in that process, like I made a commitment to myself that I would take a little bit of time so that I don't put myself back in the same position that I was in when I left my old job, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like the idea of, you know, when you jump from one boyfriend and then, you know, people tell you to take time because you need this time to kind of figure out, you know, here's kind of what happened, here's the decisions that I made, you know, here's what wasn't working for me, here's how I can make this work for me. So I need that time to think about that. But as I talk about maybe throughout some of the clips in this video, and as I will, you know, it's as I've probably talked about before in other videos, I have like this sort of idea, and it was implanted in my mind by a book from Ilyana von Zantz, I think is her name. Please pardon me because I don't actually know. But it was called In the Meantime, I believe, and it's a really good book, but I know I talk about it. It's a really good book, and I read it like 20 years ago, so I don't remember much of the book, but I do know that I do remember this idea from it that your house is sort of a reflection of your person. So the attic in this case is a reflection of my brain, and I just felt like it was ringing very true. It was really resonating with me, so I really wanted to get this done. Once again, I don't want to talk too much about that because I know that I talk about it in the video itself. This is just going to be a collection of video clips, pictures. There will be a lot of reference to, you know, the 1,000 days or the 1,000 items because that's what I originally started to do. Yeah, so it's like a week in my life of decluttering my attic, vlog style. So anyways, it's short. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hope it motivates you. If you guys have like, I love decluttering in the sense of I love what I feel like it does for you as a person. So if you guys have any tips or stories, or you like to do little declutters, or any ideas of how you kind of like to get rid of things or what motivates you to get rid of things, let me know down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Okay, this is day one. It's actually November 30th, but I'm going to go ahead and give myself this extra day. Today I managed to get rid of 11 things over here on the left, and those are all going to Goodwill, and then there's 24 things in this pile here, and unfortunately those are all going to have to be trash or recycle or something of that nature. Yeah, so thoughts for today is that it's going to be a lot harder than I thought. I'm at, let's see, 35 items for today. I would have to do that every single day in order to reach 1,000 items. And I'm not going to be able to do this every day. Just because, I mean, I spent many hours today doing this, and this is all I came up with. I'm very overwhelmed getting started. This last year was incredibly overwhelming for me, and I was just kind of shoving things around. I'm having trouble making decisions, I think, with stuff. Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't have a clear plan, so I'm just kind of like shoving. I've just been kind of like shoving stuff, and like, I'll deal with it later, I'll deal with it later, I'll deal with it later. And I guess later has come, and it is now, and I'm overwhelmed, and I don't really know where to start. I feel like today I just kind of got the top layer off of things. I went through my clothes. Because my clothes were just a mess. I hadn't really like changed over from summer to winter clothes, and I just kind of had both thrown in the closet, and it was just, there was like so much stuff in the closet that I couldn't get to anything. So I kind of went through my clothes, tried on some things, got rid of a little bit of stuff. Yeah, but I really don't feel like I made like any huge progress. But hopefully once maybe I start getting this like top layer of stuff off, then maybe I can kind of get to the meat and potatoes, I guess, of what's causing me to have so much clutter and feel so overwhelmed. So today is today is December 3rd. It was an incredibly taxing decluttering day. I spent 5 hours decluttering what I got here today. I did the KonMari method 2 to 3 years ago, and I completed the whole process except for I never got to my attic. I ran out of time, and I just never got to it. So it has been on my mind, like, that I need to clean out my attic for many years now. And it had been very nice. It was very nice and organized, and it still kind of is. But since I've had the baby, we've just been kind of using it as temporary storage. So I keep throwing stuff in the attic, like if the baby's getting into something, some kind of decoration, I'm just like, oh, we'll just put it in the attic. Clothes he's outgrown, oh, we'll just put them in the attic. Because I just really haven't had time to deal with anything, so I just keep putting them in the attic. And it's now getting to a state of just fullness. I mean, it's just full and overflowing, so I need to deal with it. The other, another thing that's weighing heavily, I guess, on me is that I read this book. I'm going to butcher her name, but I think it was Iana Van Zant or Van Zant. I believe the name of the book was called In the Meantime. I read it back 20 years ago now. So forgive me, I don't actually remember like the book. But I do remember what really resonated with me in the book was that she compares various areas of your home to your person. So, for example, my attic is my brain. And I feel like I'm treating my attic in very much the same way I've been treating my brain. Like, ooh, I want to store this. I don't know what to do with this yet. I'll just put it away. I'll just put that there. I don't know how, I'm not dealing with the things. I'm just putting them away. And I'm like, I'll deal with them later. And that resonates with me on every level of who I am. So if you've never read that book, or you could probably get it really, really cheap now, and you're interested in that sort of idea, I really recommend it. It was very enlightening for me, and it really resonated with me. So, I just wanted to share my progress with you today. It was incredibly taxing. The sentimental stuff is often the hardest to do. Today I found it actually kind of easy to let go of some things. I had 3 totes that I went through, and I have 1 now. So that's great. There was a lot of reading and sorting involved, so it took just a really long time to get 3 totes went through. So this is my pile of stuff from December 4th. I also have some jewelry that I came across that I will insert a photo of. Little bit of backstory is in December of 2003, my house burnt down, and it was mostly a complete and total loss. We were able to salvage some things. So a lot of the totes that I'm finding in the attic now are from that period of life, and I was definitely in a different state of how I related to stuff at that point in my life. So we kept a lot of things that out of the few things we were able to salvage, I probably kept a lot that I definitely didn't need, but it was like at the time, it was like that was all I had. And I had a different relationship with stuff at that time, so it's kind of confusing, but In the time since then, probably since about 2008 is when my relationship with stuff started to kind of change and develop, and I realized that I need stuff, and stuff wasn't fulfilling, and a college paper or notebook didn't bring back anything. It didn't really do anything for me. I was never going to look at it again or whatever. So yeah, this is another pile of stuff. So this is December 5. I'm definitely nowhere near done in the attic. However, I have like this chest that I'll show you in a second that I really wanted to go through because the items were related to kind of the time period and the sentimental value. They were just similar to the other things I was already doing, so I kind of wanted to go through it. And I'm glad that I did, because I got rid of almost everything in the chest. Not almost everything, but I did. There's so much more room in there now, so it's actually like useful to me. So here's all the stuff. But yeah, so anyways, I talked yesterday about the house fire that we had, and maybe I'll go ahead and show you this piece of furniture. One of the very, very, very few things we were able to salvage from the house fire, as you can see, it was scarred. It's definitely got some smoke damage and stuff to it, and maybe this is something that some people think I might not should have kept, but the chest itself actually gives me like kind of good memories and good juju. House fire was obviously quite traumatic. But as time has passed and as things have, it also served a purpose in my life. We'll put it that way. I'm not going to go into too many details of my life, but I think that it served a purpose. It caused us to move. It set my life in a different direction, which at the time it probably needed. Okay, so this is a large pile of stuff from December 10th. A lot of things kept coming up today. Today was sort of like a weird day for me. I found a lot of stuff I didn't know was there. It's strange to me because I do, usually before I put stuff in the attic, I spend a little bit of time like packing things up and putting it in there. So I'm assuming a lot of the things that, like, they didn't even look familiar to me, if that makes sense. Like, I was like, what is all this stuff? Like, I had no idea where it came from. I had some good guesses, but I just didn't even remember it coming into my life and ending up in my attic. So that was really eye-opening for me, and it kind of led me down this road of me taking responsibility for other people's stuff. And I guess the best way to really understand that is to think, like, if you've ever had inherited a bunch of stuff, or, you know, if you've had someone close to you die and you're responsible for going through all of their things and deciding what to do with it, can be really, really overwhelming. And it's also very confusing, because for me, I realized that I tend to associate this stuff with the people, and I have a really hard time letting go of certain things that person treasured. So it's like, I might not treasure that thing at all or have any sort of attachment to that item, but I know that person really, really loved it. So then I have a hard time getting rid of it. Also, on the flip side, I think a lot of times people give us their, air quotes, junk that they don't know what to do with. So they themselves have bought all this stuff. And then you can think of like people on, makeup junkies on YouTube. If you kind of think about how they acquire all these palettes and, they acquire all this makeup in these palettes, and then they don't know what to do with it. They don't really like a lot of it, but then they're more than happy to pass along to someone else because they don't know what to do with it. And so we do that in this guise of giving it a good home, or passing along so someone else can enjoy it. And sometimes that is true, but a lot of times, we're just passing along our junk, and because we don't know how to deal with it. That has just kind of put me in this very like thoughtful mood of how often we really just pass along our stuff. I mean, even if like you're having a bad day and you go and you take it out on the cashier, you're basically in that sense and in that moment passing along your junk. You have this negative emotion and this ugly feeling inside of you that you don't know what to do with, so you pass it along to someone else. And so it's just been a very like thoughtful day about how we take on other people's stuff, we make it our own, we let it take up space in our lives. How many times have you had somebody give you a negative opinion of yourself, and you carry that with you for years and years and years and years? And then maybe one day, you have sort of an epiphany and you're like, you know what? I don't care that Mary Jo thought I was ugly 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, she was probably just passing along some of her junk to me, and I've been carrying it around this whole time. So anyways, I guess today I've really been thinking a lot on that, and I just wanted to sort of make a little bit of a resolution for myself, to stop just throwing things in the attic, to stop just taking on other people's opinions and junk, to stop carrying around other people's stuff so much without being conscious of it. I might want to, if you inherit a whole Beanie Baby collection and you're not sure what's valuable and what's not, you may want to hold on to that for a minute to take some time to sort through it. But, be cognizant, make conscious choices. Don't just carry other people's stuff around and allow their stuff to take up space in your life without your permission, I guess, is my thought of the day. Anyways, so see you guys again tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so this is December 11th, and I'm so ready to be done. This is the last day. I put on my laser focus goggles today, and I just set the goal that this was going to be the last day. Whatever I got done, and that was just going to have to be it. Another thing that, I guess the thing that really came up today was I'm tired of this. I've been cleaning up my attic for 5 days. And when I say 5 days, I mean like 5 hours at least at a time. Some days more than that. I mean, that's a long time to be sorting through stuff. Phrase popped into my head, stuff manager. That is a phrase I think that has haunted me for years. Once I realized I kind of had a problem with stuff, I started to realize that I spend a lot of my life being a stuff manager. And sometimes that's really useful because I am really good at managing stuff. I'm organized, I'm quick, I'm resourceful. You know, I have all these good habits. I have all these kind of good, I'm able to take like really large complex problems and figure them out. Like that's my strength. And yet, you know, I find myself just managing stuff all the time. Everybody's stuff. Not just my stuff, everybody's stuff. Like, that is something that I feel like I should be more aware of moving into the future. You know, when do I want to be a stuff manager and when do I not want to be a stuff manager? And kind of start setting boundaries for when and where I'm going to be a stuff manager. Another thing that I really did today was repackage. I had a lot of stuff that was just really large, and like I had a lot of picture frames that I really just wanted the photo out of. Like the frame was hideous, broken, you know, there was something wrong with the frame, and I was keeping this whole big picture frame because one day I might use it again, but the reality is it wasn't the picture frame that I wanted, it was the image in the frame. So I took a lot of frames apart today. I repackaged a lot of things just to make them smaller. So I got rid of a lot of crap frames. I also got rid of a lot of stuff, you know, those projects that are maybe one day projects. I am all about, you know, the maybe one day projects. I think that it's okay to hold on to stuff. Especially if you have the space for the maybe one day. But at the same time, when you come across that stuff a year, 2 years later, and you haven't maybe one day used it, it's time for it to go. If it were that important to you, you would have used it by then. So I got rid of quite a bit of maybe one day stuff. And I feel like overall, I have my attic organized. I will show you the before and after this segment, but after all, I just feel like I have an overall better reflection of my current situation and who I am. My attic is now this workable space. I can use it for storage, how I like to use it for storage. The things that I need, I know where they're at. The things that I'm just holding on to for sentimental reasons and sentimental value, I know where they're at as well, and I can unbox them if I want to revisit that time. Alright guys, so for those of you who love before and after pictures, I have inserted the before picture and this is the after. I'm really excited about what I'm seeing here. There's still some things that actually I need to go through, but I have to call this project quits for right now. So there's like this kind of stuff right here in the middle is stuff that I need to go through. There's also some stuff in here that I have awaiting the yard sale. We do like a community yard sale in May, I believe. So I have kind of ready to go for that. And there's also some stuff that I need to put on eBay. And then of course there's the baby stuff that I said has given me such a conundrum that I don't know what to do with at the time being. So, all of that considered, I mean, as you can see, I have a lot of usable space in here. It is so much better. It is so much more calming and relaxing. It's still an ugly old attic, but I don't care about that. I don't need it to be pretty. I just need it to be functional. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope that there were some things that interested you in this video, and yeah, let me know about your declutter journeys and how clean is your attic. All right, well, I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.